One of my favorite ways to get ideas for a new niche site is to come to this section of my local public library. And here there are literally more ideas than you can use for a complete lifetime. And today I'm going to show you a couple of them. These are all magazines that you can borrow, and let's just grab one. These of course are all in Danish, but I'll help you of course. So this one is called Illustrated Science, and let's just grab one. So if we open one up here, there's something about how the brain works and how the brain works with addiction to different chemicals. And here there's also something about how magnets are impacting the self-control of the brain. This might be somewhat YMYL, but let's have a look at the computer and see if we can find any topics. I'm going to start with, do magnets work for work in space? That's fun. That's a funny question anyway. Do magnets work for self? Doesn't seem to come control. It took a while. Okay, so Google is not just suggesting this, and the top result is a t-shirt shop. Okay, so this tells me most likely not too much search traffic for this. So this will not work. The article also mentions something called brain altering magnetic pulses. Okay, so the correct term seems to be transcranial stimulation. So this might be a little YMYL, but there is a PDF in the first search result. There's also Mayo Clinic, so there's some a bag of mixed results here. If you have everyday knowledge about this, you could write something about what does transcranial magnetic stimulation feel like. So this is a personal thing, so you could actually write this. And again, this seems to be a somewhat tough search result to start off with. If you start by focusing on maybe exercises for self-control, or maybe magnetic stimulation for painful, or the experience of magnetic stimulation for painful illnesses, you might be able to get around this. So let's have a look if there's a domain available for us. So maybe brain fitness or something that is most likely taken, but let's check. So .as.com is taken. All right. So maybe how about my brain fitness? That speaks into or ties into the personal experience. Let's have .com is taken. All right. Using magnetic stimulation might be a next level thing. So maybe let's try next brain fitness. Oh, and it's available. Next one. Let's grab one up here. So this is the Danish word for garden, and that spells haven. Isn't that funny? So there's everything about gardening in here, and that might be a bit too broad of a niche, even though I guess it's a good one. Others have found that as well. There's something about fighting invasive Japanese knotweed, a selection table for bell peppers and other things you can grow in the garden. That might be a good idea. So let's jump in and see if we can find anything. I'm going to start with how to get rid of Japanese knotweed. So let's have a look. Gardener's World, that might be a big site. The spruce is also a big site. but you might be able to compete if you have a very niche specific website. The Spruce is a very general and broad website. There is, in my search results anyway, at .org.uk in here, and there's a forum post, and that's a very good sign. So you might be able to break into this search result even with a new site, and it's even a PDF here. WikiHow is sometimes difficult to beat and sometimes easy to beat, but you could take a look and at the images in there and see if there's anything you can be inspired by. I also noticed that there's something about without chemicals. So maybe a general site about gardening is too broad of a niche to start with, and it's definitely going to be way too competitive. But if you niche down in just removing weeds and maybe even without chemicals, that might be a very niche of a niche you can start with. So let's have a look if there's any domains available for us. Maybe Clean Garden is definitely going to be taken, I guess. .dk is available, .com is taken. Okay, maybe My Clean Garden, and it's taken. Okay, what's the other English word for clean? Tidy, and there's neat, My Neat Garden. Oh, and it's available. Next one, let's see here, something about tracks and railroads, and we grab one here. So this one is about tracks and railroad, model and in real life. Here's something about a tram that used to run in one of the Danish cities. So that might be an idea, old trams built into models. And I found a image here of a model house that is supposed to be in the old East Germany, and I really find these cobstones very fascinating. So that might be an idea. So let's have a look. Building model trains, I'm not even going to look at because I know it's going to be way too competitive. But how about how to build model tram? How to build a model tram. So there's a YouTube in here. Okay, so if you are a model builder, that might be a good way to start by building a YouTube channel. So there's a forum post here in top 3. That's a good sign. There's something, this actually looks quite spammy. NL, that's Holland, New Zealand. So this is a very mixed search result, and you can definitely go this way. And this is only the first one I'm looking at. So this is a good sign. So maybe trams are too narrow a niche to start a whole website about, but it is a good niche to start the first articles about. So what is the correct is it cobblestones? Okay. How to make cobblestones for where is it? Models. There. So again, there's a YouTube and a Pinterest, so this is a very visual topic. I can tell from this. There is maybe Plastic Model World. These might be a fairly large site, but Facebook in a search result is pretty unusual, and that is a good sign that you could probably break into this search result even with a new site. So let's hop over to see if we can find any domains. How about this is small scale builder, maybe. Oh, it's available. How about small scale constructor? That's with an O, right? Not an E. Okay, you might need to check my spelling, but this one is available. Next one up here is something about touring. I have no idea what that is, but as I can tell from the front page, it's something about motorcycles. And as I flip through this I find something about snow. So I guess touring and motorcycles are probably a very broad niche, and there might be someone else that has already written something about this. But let's look at how snow and motorcycles are, if that is a good niche. First off, I need to know, what is a touring motorcycle? Okay, so it's a motorcycle that you ride tours on. Okay, fine. So let's have a look here. Some of these seems to be pretty big sites. That is to be expected with a broad keyword like this. Let's have a look at what makes a motorcycle touring, sort of the same thing. Wikipedia is on top, Brain Bucket, I don't know what that is, but some major sites here. So yeah, well, that is to be expected. But there's another word in here I don't know, a cruiser versus a touring bicycle or motorcycle. So that might be interesting. And there's a Quora. And Quora is in here. That can be a good sign. There's a .cr website. I don't know where that is. There's a forum in here as well. Maybe it's not a forum post, but in a blog post. No, it is a forum. Okay, so this might actually be a good topic to write an article on. But we were going to look up something about snow. So let's write riding, touring motorcycle. That's called a bike, isn't it? A touring bike in the snow doesn't seem to come up here. Oh, okay. Riding a touring bike. Is it okay to ride a bike in the snow? So that might be maybe be a better phrasing. Let's have a look. Oh, okay. So these are actually bikes and not touring bikes. So there's some confusion here. And you, of course, need to dig deeper into this to be absolutely sure. But I would consider this to be a good sign, because everything is about bicycles and not touring bikes. So there might actually be an opportunity here, unless it means that there's no search traffic for it. But touring bike is pretty specific, so this might be a good sign, I would say. Let's have a look if there's any domains available for us. So touring bike tips. And I have to be really sure that I'm spelling correctly, because if I'm swapping the two letters around and finding domains available, that's not that doesn't count. But this actually seems to be good. How about trips? So if it's for tours, maybe trips is a good. Okay, it's available as well. So if you follow the Income School guys, you know they have a website called Dirt Bike Planet. So just for fun, Planet, the touring bike planet. Okay, it's available as well. And a quick favor, if you find any of these ideas valuable, please boop the like button. Let's continue. There's a magazine somewhere here that my mother used to have when I was a kid, and it's still around. So it's called Bo Bedre. That means better living or better housing. So let's have a look at that. Right on the front page here, it says this word means summer house. It's vacation houses, and this seems to be very nice. I know from earlier research that tiny houses are a thing, but this is a bit different. So this is only vacation houses, and these are wooden houses built right on the beach here. There was an article in here about how to winterize your vacation home. There's an answer target, and it seems to be fairly on point. 5 ways to winterize a vacant home, sort of not on point, but still maybe be useful. How to winterize a summer home. Okay, free checklists seems decent enough. So pretty competitive. Maybe not completely on point, but pretty competitive. So maybe that's not the first thing I would start with. The other article in there was something about the garden, how to keep a vacation home garden when you're away. So this is completely made up. I wouldn't write an article about this because Google isn't suggesting anything like it. What I notice here is this is about your garden, your own garden, while you are on vacation. So this is not for people who have a vacation home and for vacation home owners who want to take care of their vacation home. And this is what this magazine is all about, is the homeowner taking care of their own homes and making them pretty. There's almost nothing for vacation home owners. So a niche site targeted specific vacation home owners might be a good idea. Let's have a look if there's a domain available for us. So let's start with vacation home owner. This might work in this instance actually, but the .com is taken. Okay, how about house? You have to correct me if this isn't the correct wording, but this domain is available. You could also go even more broad. I really like the images of the open spaces in this magazine. So maybe open space, space vacation. That is a possibility. I guess you would call some of these wooden vacation homes for cabins. So maybe we can go for open space cabins. Oh, that's a possibility as well. So lots of opportunity. There is a magazine about it, so there must be some interest in this. But you would have to dig deeper to see if there's also some search traffic in this area. Let's grab one more. Just a random one. Louisiana is actually a name of a modern art museum here in Denmark. So, and I know nothing about this as well. So let's grab one and see what we find. So there's something about a guy called Alberto in here, and he makes this very rough kind of sculptures. There was something here as well. I had to Google this guy, and you have to forgive me my ignorance because I had no idea who he was, but apparently he's pretty famous. So if you're a sculptor and you want to make something like this, you might be Googling something like, how do you make a... And there's actually some guides about it. How do you make an Alberto sculpture? I'm sorry, I'm not going to try to pronounce that. There's some images, Pinterest in here. How to draw like, not on point. And an art lesson that might be interesting, but still not on point. Actually, it looks like there is some opportunity here. You might also go another route on how do I get my art into a museum? Create a following seems like a bit bland advice, but maybe useful, but still. There's a WikiHow in here as well. Quora is here. Okay, might be a good sign. So this tells me that this is pretty bland advice. So you could dig deep into every single of these points and make a complete site for artists that want to get their art shown maybe at galleries, museums, and let's have a look at available domain names. How about art and sculpture school? So it might be a bit long, but you can work with this. Let's grab one last one, and I find this one down here. This is called Monday Morning, and this is a newspaper style political magazine. So this might be a very difficult niche, but let's have a look. So on the front page here, there's something about how Danish businesses are fighting cybercrime. And inside here, there's something about Fintech. Danish Fintech is picking up speed, and Danish Fintech is making gold. And reading through this, there's a whole niche hidden in this. But let's have a look to see if there's any topics as well. I first need to find out, what is Fintech? So, okay, financial technology. And so that wasn't completely the cybersecurity, cybercrime that was on the front page. Let's type here, cybersecurity. Okay. So, is cybersecurity a part of Fintech? Might be a good one to dig into. Netguru.com might be a big site, I don't know. This isn't even a .com. I don't know even what this is. This might be on point, but the wording is completely off. Security challenges involving Fintech, and it's a PDF. So it seems to be some room for improvement here on the first page. So maybe a site about Fintech and cybersecurity and how they play into each other. And if you keep it on the tech side, you might also be able to get around the YMYL topics. So let's have a look if we can find a decent domain name. How about straight up Tech World. .biz might actually be something that you could use. .it is also possible. .com is taken, of course, but I was looking for .io to see if it's in here somewhere. And .io is actually available, and it might actually work for this specific niche. There is a lot of websites out there called Ninja and Sumo. So how about Fintech Sensei? And that's available. You of course want to dig deeper to find at least 30 to 50 topic ideas that you can write articles on without too much competition, so you can get some early traffic. We also have to consider monetizing the site. So we have to look into if there is any possibility for ads and products and affiliate sales. But that is a topic for another video. And if you decide to start one of these sites, please let me know in the comment section and I'll give you a link to your site. Until next time, take care.